Greetings from Citizen Health and the Team Academy IAPS ME Connect. And today in the series of People's Health It Matters, again we have Dr. Liaquat Roopesh. A very warm welcome to you, sir, on behalf of all the audience.
Thank you. Good evening to you.
And I would like to introduce her as he's a professor in Department of Community Medicine, Azeezia Institute of Medical Sciences, Kollam, Kerala. So today we are going to talk on a topic, preparedness for marriage. You must be shocked, a little shocked, that why we are talking about marriage and how it is related with the health. So we have Dr. Rupesh who will tell that why are we discussing today preparedness for marriage, sir?
Okay, a lot of people have a notion that marriage is something which is a separate thing and health is something which is unrelated to that. Unfortunately, if you look at the global statistics, we have something called violence against women. And this is a global health problem because violence against women is something which affects 1 in 3 women globally. So around 30% of women globally have experienced some kind of violence in their lifetimes. And a lot of this violence actually is perpetrated by intimate partners. So 38% of murders of women actually are committed by their intimate partners. This is a global statistic I'm telling. In fact, in November, we have on November 25th, the International Day for Violence Against Women, and the day's celebration where we try to raise awareness about the fact that this is an issue. And so since these two things are connected, that is intimate partner violence and violence against women, it is connected with the intimate relationships that a woman may have. So I think from that perspective, it is important that we discuss about marriage and things related to marriage, because these can have very serious impact or consequences for women. And a lot of times, of course, it may have a similar impact on men also. But by and large, it seems that women seem to have a disproportionate burden of adverse health consequences because of marriage. So I think that's why we should discuss this.
Right, sir. When we talk about marriage, the only thing came in our mind as shopping, dressing, eating, dinner, and all that things. But today we are discussing a very important topic, as you have said, that sexual harassment, physical harassment, and so many are there. So I would like to know, sir, that before marriage, what a person should think before marriage. Like I suggest that a person should never marry for the peer pressure only. So from the angle of doctor, what you say that how a person should think that yes, he or she should get married or not?
Okay, it's a good question that you've asked, and I'm glad that you asked it, because one of the first things that you need to consider is, why do you want to get married? You need to be clear about the motivation for marriage. A lot of times when the motivation is wrong, or along with the motivation, your expectation from your partner is wrong, then there will be a conflict situation inside the institution of marriage. So the first thing is, why do you want to get married? And if you are looking at marriage as a partnership, and if you're thinking of getting married for companionship, that is a good idea. However, if you are thinking of marriage as a way of getting somebody who will do things for you, for example, you will get somebody who will cook for you, who will take care of you, etc. That is the wrong reason to get married. If that is why you want to get married, I think you need to engage a domestic help, or some person like that. You don't need to get married for this. You can always hire somebody who will do the cooking and cleaning for you, and you don't have to have a relationship with that person other than that of an employer and an employee. So that should not be the reason why you marry. Some people marry because they, like you said, there is a peer pressure. I do not think that is the reason why you should get married either. Just because everybody else is getting married, you should not also jump in. After all, if everybody is jumping in front of a bus, will you also do the same? You will stop and you will ask yourself, should I do this? Does it make any sense? So I'm not saying that marriage is like jumping in front of a bus. No. But what I am saying is that you have to think for yourself. What is it that you are looking for? And the other thing is, some people marry as a matter of prestige or status. Some people marry because they hope that they will marry into a high status family, or they'll marry into a family which they'll acquire wealth. Okay. Some people marry because of the expectation that they will get a fat dowry, which, although illegal, is still quite prevalent. So those are all the wrong reasons for thinking of getting married. You should get married only because you are seeking companionship and you want a partnership with somebody, and you are willing to commit to a long-term relationship with that person. That is the only reason why you should get married. So you should be able to think of this other person as somebody you would like to take care of, just as the other person commits to taking care of you. It is not a one-way street where you say, I will not do anything, but you must do everything for me. No, that is a situation, is a sure recipe for conflict, and that is a sure recipe for trouble. So I don't think that somebody should get married unless they feel that they are emotionally secure. They know that they can handle. See, if you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of someone else? So first, you should have the maturity to take care of yourself. If you don't know how to manage your finances, if you don't know how to manage your own affairs, if you can't manage your time, that is not a good situation to be in. And I don't think anybody who is incapable of doing these things should be forced into marriage either. You are unnecessarily pushing someone else into a situation which will only end badly. So that is something which has to be considered. Both partners should be very clear about why they are getting married, and they should have clear ideas about what the other person is bringing in. And they should both be able to handle themselves first. If you can't manage yourself, you have no business thinking of getting into a marriage. A marriage requires a lot of maturity. It requires a lot of commitment to maintaining and developing a relationship with another person. So you need to have that first. If you can't, then first develop it and then only think of marriage.
Right, sir. And as you said, that 98% violence is by intimate partner. So, do you think that it is because of the upbringing? It is a matter of upbringing also, or it's just a generation?
Okay, one correction. Globally, the percentage is actually 38%. So 38% of murders. So I'm talking about murders, specifically murders. So 38% of all the murders that happen, I mean, women who get murdered, they get murdered by an intimate partner. Okay, so usually it is a husband, okay, or a boyfriend. So globally, but the vast majority, more than 90%, like you said, of violence against women. Now, the violence can be in various forms. It could be physical violence, it could be emotional violence, all kinds of things happen. It could also be sexual violence. So all of these things, the vast majority, or like you said, 98% of that is definitely somebody who's known to them. And yes, you are right in suspecting that maybe there is a role of upbringing. Now, why is that important? One of the things is about gender roles and gender stereotyping. So if you were to look at some of the Scandinavian countries like Sweden, Finland, etc., consciously they avoid gender stereotyping. So in their schools, they have no such thing which stipulates that boys can't play with dolls or girls can't play with cars. Okay, there is no rule which says that boys can't wear a skirt and go to class, or girls can't wear trousers and go to class. Boys can't keep long hair. No, none of that is there. Girls are not told that they are supposed to learn things which will help them become better homemakers. They are not told that they can't become engineers, firefighters, or any such thing. Similarly, boys are not told that they can't be engaged in cooking or any of the other things, which in our society is generally considered to be a girl's area or something like that. So this gender stereotyping actually is very, very harmful. So all children should be allowed to choose their own paths. Every child, boy or girl, should be treated the same, and every child should be allowed to achieve their maximum potential. Just because it is a girl doesn't mean that you suppress her instinct or you do not allow her to spread her wings. Okay, whether boy or girl, both of them should be given a caring, loving environment. This nurturing should happen. There should not be any kind of preferential treatment for anyone. Both should be treated the same way. And in the same vein, you need to have good role modeling at home. You need to set a good example for them. If the child is seeing that the mother is the one who is sharing the burden of cooking also and taking care of the children and also is working, etc., etc., the child will think that this is how it is supposed to be. They will think of this as a normal. Similarly, if a child sees one parent abusing the other parent, they will think that it is normal to be in an abusive relationship. Their expectations from a relationship will be wrong, and they will also end up having abusive relationships. So it is very important that parents consciously try to have a good home environment. Even if you want to have a quarrel, I mean, there will be situations when you disagree. Those things should be done with civility. Those things should be done with certain rules of engagement whereby you decide whether you're going to do this conflict management in the presence of your child or after they have gone to bed. Are you going to do it outside the house or are you going to do it inside the house? The children need to know how to appropriately discuss and deal with conflict. So that is also something they need to learn. At the same time, I think a lot of the parents, especially in India, do a disservice to their children by insisting on gender stereotyping, where, for example, it is the girl's job to learn cooking. Why not the boy? Why shouldn't the boy also learn cooking? In my perspective, cooking is a life skill. Everybody should know how to do it. What if this boy is stuck in a place where there is nobody to cook for him? Maybe in hostel, maybe when they're staying alone. How is this person going to manage? So everybody should have the ability to lead an independent life. Girls should also learn how to manage finances, for instance. They should learn how to, for example, fix a puncture on a or replace a stepney. Okay, change the tire of a car, for example. Change a bulb, do some basic, handy job, household chores, fixing things. I mean, why should these be restricted? Just because you are born a boy or a girl does not automatically disqualify you from learning something. Okay, these are skills. Anybody can learn a skill. So I think that there has to be a general conscious attempt at ensuring that there is no kind of discrimination between boys and girls right from their childhood. And the parents should be good role models. The husband should also help in the domestic chores, should be seen doing cooking at least once in a while, should be seen helping with cleaning the dishes, should be seen helping with childcare, okay, helping with homework, etc. I don't think it is reasonable or even remotely fair to say that the burden of childcare is entirely on the woman. That is a completely unfair proposition. So I would say if you are thinking of getting married, you must have these ideas sorted out. You are very clear. You should be very clear that you are engaged, getting into a partnership. It is not a superior, inferior, or senior, junior kind of relationship where you have somebody who's subordinate to you, where you will boss over someone else. Someone is only there to serve you. No, it is not a master slave relationship you're getting into. So if you are thinking of getting into marriage, you must get into it from the perspective that you are getting into a partnership with somebody. And in a partner, both parties are equal. Both parties must commit to shouldering responsibilities equally. When somebody is not well, the other person should be able to and willing to do the other person's job also. You should be able to support each other. There has to be that kind of a relationship where mutually you respect each other and you also help each other out. So this is something which sounds very alien to people in India, but abroad, especially in the US, etc., it is natural. The household chores are all divided. So one day the husband will do the household chores, another, or certain tasks are assigned to the husband. Other days the wife will do it, and the same thing is carried on. All children, regardless of their sex, they are expected to do certain things. So these children, when they grow up to be balanced individuals. They respect the other person. So see, the thing is, you are marrying an individual. That person's individuality cannot be expected to disappear after marriage. You have to respect that person as an individual. You have to treat that person as an individual, and you should continue to allow that individual to survive, thrive, and follow their career paths, their aspirations, etc. If you feel that maybe as a man, you should be allowed your space, you should be allowed to continue doing the stuff you were doing previously. Maybe you liked going out on trips with your friends, and after marriage you would like to continue doing that. The same holds true for your wife also. Just because she married you doesn't mean that she stopped being an individual, that she stopped having dreams of her own. So the basic thing is, you have to have realistic expectations. Your motivation should be very, very clear.
True, sir. And I would like to say that stop helping. Don't help it. Do it, because it is their job also. Na? You are not helping anyone. You are not helping your wife, because it's your duty also. Taking care of children or taking care of anything is a duty of a husband also, no?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. So you should not look at it as, I'm doing you a favor. Today I washed the dishes. I did you a favor. No, it's not a favor. Okay. Personally, if you are dirtying something, you should be willing to clean it also. So if you ate something and you dirtied the dishes, it is unreasonable to expect that always somebody only will clean after you. So it's a give and take. Some days you do something, other days the other person does it. Only then will there be harmony. There has to be balance.
Right, sir. And in the last of the session, I would like to know, sir, that as you are a doctor, you have seen so many cases. So is there any gender bias or socio-economic class bias, like this happens in only lower class families and middle class family, or is there anything like that, or it happens, it is, as you are already said that it is a global issue. So is this for the same or anything?
Okay. The fact is that violence, especially gender-based violence, is not limited to any particular community, particular religion, particular socioeconomic status group, nothing. It is there across all societies. Okay. So you could be a very famous person, a celebrity, and you may have a lot of money. You may be highly qualified, you may be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever. You could still experience this. So your social standing, your educational qualifications, your financial value, none of these things actually protects a woman from violence from an intimate partner. The fundamental issue, as I understand it, is an unrealistic expectation of the men and an unwillingness to treat the other person as an equal, as someone who is of value, someone who needs to be cherished, someone who needs to be taken care of. And the refusal to acknowledge that you also have to do something, you have to put something into the relationship. So this inability to treat the other person as an equal, as somebody who is an individual, uh, and someone who is on par with you, that I think is fundamentally to blame.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for having talked with us today. And I would like to request with all the audience that do subscribe, share, and like this video. And if there is anything which is in your mind, you can share it in the comment section, and we are here for for giving you the answers. Thank you so much, sir, for having talked with us.
Pleasure mine. Thank you.